We've got another very intriguing Pac-12 matchup as number 22 Utah travels to Tucson to take on number 17 Arizona as the Wildcats look to keep their slim Pac-12 title hopes alive. So the question is, will the physicality of the Utes be too much for the Wildcats to handle, or will the Wildcats continue to ride the momentum and carry themselves to a fifth straight victory? That is the question we're going to answer today. So welcome back to the Gridiron Expert, guys. We're so glad you could join us today. As always, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and of course, check out everything down in the description below, including our expert picks, where we are on a 66-35 run against the spread. That's over 65% right now. So if you want to win big with us against the spread, if you want guaranteed winnings for one of the lowest prices in the country, that has beat out over 80% of the national handicappers each of the last 5 years, well, this is a place for you. Best picks in the country, one of the lowest prices in the country, a full year-long subscription, meaning you buy now, you get it through next November. It's never too late to sign up for our picks. All of that for some of the best customer service in the country as well. If you want all of that, this is the place for you. Go sign up today, become a member of our GE Nation. Check it out. Again, the link down in the description below over at thegridironexpert.com. So let's take a look at this game, guys. I am actually really excited for this. It's a game that I think is flying under the radar. You know, the big Pac-12 game on Saturday is Oregon State and Washington, right? Naturally, it's big playoff contender in the Huskies. But this game is a matchup, as we mentioned, a physicality of Utah. Just a hard-nosed, run it down your throat, bully you in the trenches team against an Arizona team that may be the hottest team in the country right now, having won 4 straight games, 3 of those coming against teams in the top 20. Jed Fish doing a phenomenal job kind of reviving this Arizona football program. Remember, they've won 4 straight. They're getting hot at the right time. They have 3 losses, yes, all 3 of them by 1 possession to Mississippi State, Washington, and USC. They've played really good ball so far. Can they get their 8th win with an upset, some would say, over Utah? Well, let's take a look at the teams, right? The offense for Utah, it's not good. It's not good, plain and simple. They're 92nd overall in total offense, averaging just 355 total yards per game, and they're 117th in the country when it comes to throwing the ball, averaging just 170 passing yards per game. Bryson Barnes, I think, has done a pretty decent job at quarterback, all things considered. Look, you're not going to have a great passing attack, and you're not going to have all that great of an offense when you've played all year with a backup quarterback. We kept waiting for Cam Rising to come back for his injury, and a few weeks ago they were like, yeah, he's not coming back at all. He's done. Whether he comes back for 2024, that remains to be seen. But obviously it hasn't been the year that Utah envisioned because they didn't have their star guy out there. It was really unfortunate. But Barnes has thrown for over 1,100 yards and 10 touchdowns. Overall, this is a Utes team that, as we've said all year long, is going to rely heavily on their defense and rely heavily on their run game that's averaging over 185 yards per game, led by Jaquindon Jackson, who has over 600 yards on the year. This is a team that has eclipsed 28 points just 4 times. Eclipsed, not hit, eclipsed. Over 28 points just 4 times this year. And honestly, is a team that's going to struggle to keep up with more high-octane offenses, as we saw a few weeks ago when they hosted Oregon and got beat 35-6. If a team is complete on both sides of the ball, like Oregon was, Utah's going to struggle to keep up. Arizona, they've got an offense that could blow Utah out of the water. They definitely own the offensive advantage right now. This Wildcats team is averaging over 438 yards per game, 280 of those yards coming through the air, led by not Jayden de Laura. That's a name that I think people have just kind of forgotten about. It's been led by Noah Fifita. Over 1,700 yards on the year, 16 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Came in place of Jayden de Laura back against Washington, where they only lost 31-24. And the Wildcats and Fifita, they haven't looked back since. They have been phenomenal. This has been an unbelievable freshman quarterback that has stolen the show and has quickly become one of the best quarterbacks in the Pac-12. He has 3 300-yard passing games so far this year. He's completing a whopping 73.7% of his passes. And remember, he's just a freaking freshman. This guy is unbelievable. 6 players for Arizona have at least 200 reception yards, and the run game has proven to be relatively solid as well, led by Jonah Coleman, who has 744 yards on the year and is averaging 7.2 yards per carry. This is an Arizona offense that wants to throw the ball. They want to rely on their strength, which is passing with Noah Fifita, but the running game can complement it when needed. But Arizona 100% owns the offensive edge over the Utes, and they seem to honestly right now be getting better on that side of the ball with every single week. Utah, if they want to come into Tucson and win this game, we know things in the desert can get pretty wild, pretty crazy. If they want to win this game, they are going to have a one heck of a day from their defense. And we've seen them do it time and time again. The defense is one of the best in the country, so that's not really a far-fetched thing to say. Utah 100%, I will say, owns the defensive edge entering this game. There's no doubt about that. The Utes have 30 sacks on the year. They've forced 14 turnovers on the year. They're allowing less than 300 yards per game on the year. That ranks 15th in the entire country. They're giving up just 214 passing yards per game and only 85 rushing yards per game. So what that really tells me, right, is a guy like Jonah Coleman, the running back for Arizona, he's going to be pretty much a non-factor. The running game for Arizona is going to be pretty much a non-factor. And this is a game that if Arizona wants to win, is going to have to rely solely on their freshman quarterback, Noah Fafita. And you look at that and you say, man, we don't want that. We got a freshman quarterback facing one of the best defenses in the country. Well, he's picked apart multiple top 20 teams over the last couple of weeks. I really think they might be just fine. He's picked apart UCLA. He picked apart Oregon State. They picked apart Washington State. Arizona playing really, really good ball right now. This is one of the best defenses that Fafita has seen all year long. It's one of the best defenses that Arizona has seen all year long. But they have the capability to pick it apart. Arizona defensively, I actually think they're relatively underrated. 335 yards per game. That's all they're giving up. That ranks 36 in the country. They're not that great versus the pass, only giving up 235 passing yards per game, but they're 14th in the country against the run, allowing less than 100 rushing yards per game. So what that tells me, again, is a Utah team that really is not very good at throwing the football might have to win this game. And look, Bryson Barnes has done it, right? Barnes played well last week against Washington. The Utes falling 35-28 on the road in Seattle. Barnes had a solid game there. The defense doing everything they could in the first half of that game, falling apart in the second half. Barnes did a phenomenal job on the road against USC, willing the Utes to victory in that game. So I'm not going to rule Utah out in this game. I'm not going to completely disregard their passing attack because we've seen them come through a handful of times this year, or at least put up better fights than we thought they would at times this year. But Arizona's rushing defense should not be disregarded. It should not be disregarded. If they bottle up Jaquindon Jackson and they say, Utah, you are now one-dimensional, you already kind of were, now you're even worse off than you were, it's concerning if you're a Utes fan. And Arizona, guys, yeah, that's a season total. 235 passing yards per game, that's a season total. If you look at what they've done the last 4 games, they're allowing just 223 passing yards per game over the last 4 games. Remember, 3 of those have come against teams in the top 20, a handful of those against pass-heavy teams like Washington State and UCLA. So Arizona playing good ball. They've got the defense to do it. Again, if you can bottle up the run like you've done all year long and generate a little pressure on Bryson Barnes, you're going to be looking just fine if you're an Arizona fan. So what's going to happen in this game, guys? Does it have Pac-12 title implications? Possibly. If Arizona wins, and obviously they get some help down the road, Oregon State, they're going to be big Oregon State fans because they do own the tiebreaker over the Beavers, and the Beavers have to play Washington and Oregon the next 2 weeks. Oregon State gets a couple of wins there. Maybe Arizona finds a way to slip into the Pac-12 championship. That's very unlikely. What is possible is for them to win the next couple of games against Utah, Arizona State, finish for the 9-win season. Jedd Fisch, again, a remarkable turnaround in Tucson. You look at this game again, it's an underrated top 25 matchup. Not enough people are going to be talking about it. It's only on the Pac-12 networks. Unless you're out west, probably not even going to get to watch this game. Arizona owns the offensive edge, I would say rather significantly. Utah owns the defensive edge, although I wouldn't say it is significantly. 15th ranked overall defense for Utah, about 34th for Arizona. Not a drastic difference there. The game in Tucson with a team that is hot. I got to ride the hot hand here. Who am I to pick against Arizona, who has won 4 straight games, who is not coming off an emotional loss like Utah is on the road against Washington? Do I think Utah maybe is the more physical team, especially up front in the trenches? I do. I'll give them that. But Arizona has shown me something these last few weeks. They showed me something all year long. 7-3, and those 3 losses we mentioned probably all should have been wins. At least 2 of them should have been, right? This Arizona team is much better than the record shows. They're getting hot at the right time. They're playing phenomenal ball right now. And I believe that the Arizona defense does force Utah to become one-dimensional. Bryson Barnes cannot get the job done in front of a rocking crowd in Tucson. Give me the Wildcats to win their 5th straight games. They are, I dare say, the hottest team in the country. They take down the Utes and continue to climb up in the rankings, continue to improve their bowl destination, and continue to ride the momentum as they slowly begin a new era as both teams transition to the Big 12 starting in 2024. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and of course, check out everything down in the description below, including those expert picks over on thegridironexpert.com, where we are on a 66-35 run against the spread. Some of the best picks in the entire entire country, one of the lowest prices in the entire country for a full year-long subscription. All of those things, no other handicapper in the country is going to give you. We can promise you that. So go sign up, take advantage of this deal, join our team, and win big with us today, again, over on thegridironexpert.com. And once again, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on The Gridiron Expert.
Yeah.